In today's show, Trailblazers rookie Jabari Walker joins the program. We talk about channeling the anger he felt on draft night and why he already feels at home playing for Portland. Welcome to Locked On Blazers. Let's get into it.
You are Locked On Trailblazers, your daily Portland Trailblazers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What up, world? It's your past first point guard and Trailblazers reporter Mike Richmond. You are listening to another episode of Locked On Blazers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, available wherever you get podcasts and also on YouTube. Thanks for making this show your first listen every single day. Free on all platforms, 5 days a week, coming at you every single weekday, the only daily Trailblazers podcast. So make it a part of your daily routine and make it your first listen every single day. Today's episode brought to you by BetOnline. More lines, more props, more odds than ever before. That's BetOnline, where the game starts. A super duper fun show for you today. As promised, Trailblazers rookie and Summer League standout Jabari Walker joins the program. We're going to chat all episode long, so let's just get into it. Joining me now, Trailblazers forward Jabari Walker. Jabari, thanks so much for joining the program.
Thanks for having me.
How you doing, man? You've just wrapped up practice. How would you describe your sort of first week of the taste of professional basketball?
It's been great, like above expectations. It's been everything I wanted it to be. I've been able to experience kind of how the flow is in the NBA setting, getting to know the guys, the coaching staff, just getting to prove a little bit of what I can do, earned a roster spot and a very good contract. So it's been everything that I can imagine.
This time last week, I don't know if you pictured yourself here. Before we talk about the game, like, did you think you were headed for a two-way contract when you showed up here for training camp and stuff?
I had no clue, honestly. Like the night I got drafted, I just assumed that's going that late. That's just kind of what it is.
Right.
And then my agent was like, well, there's some possibility. And I was like, okay, well, all I can do is just practice hard and show what I can bring to the team. And I'll let my agents figure that out. So at a certain point, they're like, well, it's looking good. They really like you. They want to invest in you. And I didn't really look much into it. So I just went out there and just played, because you can't play thinking about stuff that you can't control like that. So everything played a part. And I think the play did help. It just made them even more excited to have me as a full part of the roster. So it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, I'll say it. If you can't, like, you made yourself $500,000. You played yourself into $500,000. Like, it's you had this week where they didn't have to worry about it. They said this dude is an NBA player. How do you feel like you have played, just basketball wise, in this first week?
I feel like I've shown pieces of how I can impact, just like playing off the ball, knocking down shots, and rebounding, play with energy. Just like doing all those things. Like I feel like it translates to even playing with guys like Dame and just all of those guys.
What has the feedback been from the coaches? Like, what do they want to see from you when you're just sort of getting around the team for the first time?
I'm gonna try to get out there early just to work my body so that I'm kind of ahead when training camp comes. But it's just been all good things right now. Like I don't really think they know what to expect when I was coming in. So I kind of went above expectations, and now they're getting a little bit of what I can do, and then that's where they'll start expecting even more come training camp.
Have you hit your expectations?
I hit a little bit of them. Like coaches that have known me for a while, like, oh, I didn't know you were able to do that, or I didn't know that's how you played. I just feel like at this level, I'm able to showcase more a little freely, and yeah, I feel like I'm just scratching the surface. I still have to put everything together.
So, like, you think there's more to your game? I think you were kind of billed as like a rebounder coming out. Obviously, you scored a bunch your sophomore year in college, but a rebounder. You think you've got more to it? There's more juice? We've certainly seen a little bit of it.
Yeah, just like when I get a big switches on me, just being able to go by them and score. I think there's more of that. I think there's more low post scoring that I did in college that translates here. There's mid post game that I have whenever I need to have it. And if I'm in a situation where I need to go one-on-one, then I feel like I'm a good one-on-one scorer. So I'm prepared for any situation where that comes about. But until that's needed to be showcased, then I'll keep doing the things that I need to do.
You've had a pretty good week. You've done all right for yourself. When I talked to Coach Boyle, I interviewed your college coach earlier this week, and he said that he thinks you could be that some of the NBA game might take away your really good offensive rebounding skills. You have a really good nose for the ball. You're a great offensive rebounder, but the league doesn't prioritize offensive rebounding. They prioritize getting back on defense. That is just the nature of NBA basketball. Do you think if that part of your game or any parts of your game maybe are different in college, like you don't get post touches or whatever, do you think there's more you can expand on? Like, I know you said you could be, maybe the NBA game suits you better. How does it suit you better?
I think just like with more spacing, there's usually the corners are pretty open, and I'm good with knowing when to cut with penetration. It's tough in college because a guy can play two people sometimes, and now it's quicker decisions, and I'm really good at the quick decision drives or quick decision cuts, and it's just kind of black and white at this level. The game just kind of tells you what to do.
Give me a sense of that. Like, you're in the corner, you see someone trying to split the difference, right? There's helping over there. What is your read to know I'm parked in the corner versus I'm crashing?
Yeah. Well, right away, if I see my guy has his head turned to me and he's looking at my point guard, if my point guard is driving towards the middle, I have an option to stay in the corner or do a back cut. And if he kind of plays up and tries to stun at the guard a little bit, I'll dash real quick to the basket, and it's been wide open a bunch of times.
Yeah. Today's show was brought to you by BetOnline. More lines, more props, more odds than ever before. Any sport you're looking for, WNBA action, MLB action, American soccer, the North American soccer leagues like MLS and the NWSL, you're going to find it there, plus tennis, plus golf, plus all of your combat sports that you're into. Plus, if you sign up for a free account today, you can read their articles that make you a smarter, better, and have a better chance to win some money. So go take advantage today. That's BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, let me drop you back into more of my conversation with Jabari Walker. You had a pass. We got to talk about this play. Kyle steals the ball. Mm-hmm. You guys go the other way. You Euro through the lane. You throw it behind your head. Take me through that read. This is like the highlight of Summer League. Look, you've played great. You played great. But this was the play where I was on my couch, back here in Portland. I was like, let's go. This one got me hyped. Take me through that play.
Yeah, I seen him get the steal, and I know he had numbers, and I know I wanted him to be the person to finish the play. I trust him dribbling the ball. I felt more comfortable making a decision in just open space like that. So I started calling his name. I kind of got the first defender out the way, and then it was a decision on whether I wanted to lay it up if the defender came and fully committed, or dish it off. And the whole time I saw him kind of right there at the corner of my eye. Then the second defender, after I got past the first one, just kind of jumped and tried to contest it. So I saw him, and I just kind of trusted my instincts.
And threw it behind your head. No look. You enjoyed it, though. I could tell after you made the play, you were trying to keep it cool. Like, yeah, I can do that. That's part of the bag. And then when you saw the bench go nuts, you couldn't hold it in anymore. You had to celebrate a little bit. That was pretty fun, huh?
Yeah, it was really fun. Yeah. That's just kind of the fun part about the game. When we went before the games, we talk about just enjoying ourselves and don't take the fun part away. So that was a little example of that.
Yeah, I love the binocular celebration. So you got the court vision. You tweeted that you used to play point guard. Tell me your point guard history.
Yeah, it was when I was younger. My coach, he kind of saw the IQ early at such a young age. So regardless of how tall I was, he stuck me there, and I was more of a pass first type of guy. He had to tell me to shoot the ball a little bit more. So I think that's where it all started. Just
how young?
When I played point guard, I was like 11, 12.
So like as a middle schooler, now
Yeah.
you weren't like a 2-star point guard as a freshman or anything like that, were you?
No, not well. I did it a little bit in high school. I wouldn't say I was even point guard at that. I was just like point forward really.
Sure.
That's when I started transitioning to like, okay, you can handle the ball, but your ability also allows you to play 3, 4, 3, 4, and 5 eventually. So I learned that it's not even about just playing the point guard. It's just about using your IQ at your position. You can make a play regardless of what position you play in. So I don't really look at it as positional as basketball nowadays.
Do you have a position in the NBA? Like, what are you?
3, 4. If I'm gonna say numbers, then I'll one of those.
Yeah, forward of some flavor.
Yeah.
But it seems like the team's going to play small. So the smaller you play, the less positions matter because you're going to switch and guard everybody.
Yeah.
You'll have to play defender is what you'll have to play on that side
I think
of
it's
the
about
court.
what position you can guard more so than offensively.
What positions do you think you can guard in the league?
1 through 4 right now. We'll see as it continues and guarding a real NBA 5.
Right.
I know that can be tough. So I'm gonna give those centers a little bit of respect right now and see once I get the opportunity. But right now, I know for sure I can guard 1 through 4.
Have they talked to you about your role for next season, like where they envision you playing? I know it's like the middle of July or whatever. But have you had that conversation?
I imagine it wouldn't be too much far from what I'm doing right now. Knocking down open shots, playing defense, energy. So I imagine it'll be pretty similar, but we haven't had that conversation yet. I'm sure that'll be a conversation I have with the coaching staff in the future.
Sure. Take me back to draft night. That had to be a long wait. Like you knew you weren't going to go in the top 15 picks, right? So you're waiting like, okay, let's see what happens. But where were you and kind of what was that night like for you?
Yeah, I was pretty confident not the top 15 area. But when it got past the 20s, that's where, like, at least even in the later 20s, I had interest from teams that I had worked out with saying, okay, it's between you and another guy. And so I was pretty confident that somewhere in the late 20s that I would go just as like a sleeper, and
right.
Somebody would take a chance on me. And that's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, I'm about to surprise the world with going earlier than what everybody expected. So that was in my head. But then as it got to the 30s, I was like, surely I had some teams in mind that I wouldn't go past that had expressed interest. Like, remember us on draft night. We really like you. We know you're going to be great in the league. So I wasn't really stressing. I was like, okay, latest I go here, like early second round. That's what I was thinking. Then when it got past some teams that I was thinking that had expressed high interest, I was like, wow, like this is not what I expected. So when it got past a certain number, I was like, regardless if I get drafted later or undrafted, it's the same to me, honestly. I felt slept on after that.
What was the number? What you were like, oh, hell no.
When it got to the 50s, I was like, this is ridiculous. You got to be kidding me. Like,
50 dudes better than you in the draft. Right. Exactly.
I started hearing names called that I killed some of those guys in workouts. And I was like, this is ridiculous. You get like, where's the camera at? This has to be a joke. So then when it got past that, I was like, okay, I'm not even worried anymore. These teams just don't understand. I understand, they don't. So
right.
I thought it was just a matter of opportunity, and maybe I just wasn't seeing enough or whatever. So I like that I got picked at 57. I like where I'm at. I love the home that I have, and it was a perfect opportunity. It was great.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a full NBA contract. There are chances that you go at 41, you end up a two-way guy. It is, you've got the security of this, I would say, ended up in a pretty good spot. How much will 57 be on your mind when the season starts? Like, how much will that number, even second to last, be on your mind when the season starts?
Yeah, I was so mad that night. Like, well, I would say angry, like in the sense that I felt slept on. It was a bittersweet feeling. I was happy with the NBA experience, but I wasn't satisfied. And I was wondering, I was like, should I just be grateful of being drafted? And I was grateful, but I just felt so slept on. So I was still frustrated. And I seen the number 57 was available in the jersey. So I almost chose that, like, just out of frustration. Like, okay, I'm gonna remember 57. And I didn't. I was like, okay, there's gonna be a time where this frustration and how mad I am wears off, and I'm gonna wish I just got a regular jersey number. So I went with 34. I didn't go with 57, but 57 will always be on my mind in some way.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of your story. Who were you with on draft night? Were you watching with just like family and friends?
Yeah, I was watching with a bunch of family and close friends. It was a good group.
Were they worried for you? Like, what's the feeling in the room when it's like 38, 39? Okay, like what's the feeling like there?
Well, like my siblings and teammates, they really just wanted my name to be called. And
right.
Same with like a bunch of family members. They don't know how everything works. But my mom was kind of in the room with me and my agent, and like there's a video on my Instagram where it just shows me like I'm stressed, and I'm like, wow, like I'm just in disbelief. So where my friends and family and everything are out there, they're like laughing, and they're like, surely his name's gonna get called. I'm like, man, it's getting kind of close. Like my name might not be even called. It's crazy. So I think they didn't know that there was a possibility of my name not even getting called, but I kind of saw it because I was in the room with the agent, and then it just started happening so fast.
You didn't work out with the Blazers here, right? Before draft, you didn't, or in Portland? No. What was your contact like with the team prior to draft night?
I was pretty close with the assistant GM now, Mike Schmitz.
Mm-hmm.
And we had done an interview, and he got to watch me work out several times. So I know he had expressed interest through several connects of mine, old coaches, and my agents. So I know that was always a possibility, even though I didn't work out with them.
Yeah, you met him like at the combine as well. I think you did. You had to sit down with him at the combine and stuff. I don't need to blow up your private combos with him, but I think that was like on ESPN or whatever. Today's show is brought to you by RockAuto.com, the family business specializing in helping do-it-yourselfers for over 20 years, 2 decades of experience helping you save time and money if you are working on your car. Real money too. 30, 50, even 100% compared to when you're going to a chain auto parts store or a car dealership. And time too, because a brick and mortar store just can't possibly carry all the parts for every make and model that's on the road now. But Rock Auto was born online and born to help you with just this type of thing. They're going to have all the parts you're going to need. So why don't you go to their website right now and see all those parts that are available for your car or your truck. And while you're there, write Locked On in their How Did You Hear About Us box. That way they know that we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. RockAuto.com. Still a pass first point guard. I'm still Mike Richmond, and you are still listening to Locked On Blazers. How about we finish up my chat with Jabari Walker, Blazers rookie? I know that a lot of people have asked you this week about your dad, so I don't want to make this let's talk Samaki, it's the Samaki hour. But you were pretty young when his NBA career ended, right? You were like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So you probably don't have many memories of him being a league guy, but what was it like just having him with sort of that background as a young hooper in your life?
Mm-hmm. It's like, I said this in an interview the other day, just like he started off where his projection was supposed to be a star, kind of,
right.
Number 9 pick, Dallas Mavericks. They kind of built a team around him in a sense where they traded everyone away one year. And he understood that it wasn't a winning program at the time, and he kind of chased the winning nature. So he went somewhere where he knew he could impact and possibly win a ring, and he knew he would take a back seat to guys like Tim Duncan, Shaq, David Robinson, all those guys. But he says it was one of the best decisions he's made. It taught him how to play basketball the right way, and just taught him how to play impactful basketball. So I said that if he was a star, I probably wouldn't understand the game like I do. But with him not being, a star, he was a star at his role, but
right.
not averaging, over 20 or whatever. He kind of taught me the little ways that a lot of people don't understand.
The hardest thing to do in the NBA is stay there. The easy thing to do is get your name called on draft night. The hard thing to do is earn a contract in 4 games in Vegas. This is really the challenge. Do you guys does he still talk hoops with you to this day? What is your guys' sort of basketball relationship like?
Yeah, it's we're like this, very close. So a lot of our conversations or messages, like if it ever got out to the media, you guys would be like, man, like I don't know if I could deal with that, because at times it's tough. He's so used to just keeping it real. He doesn't sugarcoat. He doesn't care for my feelings. In a sense, like he's just going to tell me what it is, and it's always been my job to take it or leave it. So I think what kind of separated me from a lot of kids my age is just the ability to take the information and not ignore him, even when he's sending me paragraphs saying, "Oh, you were being soft." At your age, I would have never even thought about that. Like sometimes that's hard to hear. So I just took it and know that everything wasn't so literal, and it wasn't to attack me. I'm his son. He has nothing against me. So once I learned that it was all that I loved, then it made me accept the knowledge and apply it.
You were a role player your freshman year in college.
Mhm.
Then you kind of took this step to being the featured guy.
Mhm.
How can that experience help translate to the next step as you transition to the NBA?
Yeah, just that the pressure of having to be one of those guys, it'll stick with me whenever I'm in that position, whenever a bucket is needed, whenever I need to knock down a clutch basket. I'm used to it. Like I'm used to having that weight. So now it's like I want the ball in my hands during those times. I'm so confident. I want to hit this shot. I want to get a rebound. Like even though your role is always evolving, having that mentality and having that confidence is one thing that'll stick with you from having to have had it before in your career.
When your parents are out in Vegas, right?
Yes,
Uh,
they were. They did it. They've been going back and forth just with the work and everything.
Yeah. It's also like you're the one who's trapped in Vegas for 10 days. They don't have to, they don't want to have to deal with it. If my Vegas listeners, I apologize. It's hot there though. Jabari will tell you it's been hot and it's raining yesterday. It's a wild world out there.
Yeah.
What does it mean for you to do this and have this moment with your family around you?
Yeah. When it was official that I would be signing the 3-year contract, that they flew out I think in like a day's notice or whatever. So it just showed how much that moment meant to them, and how I've been working for this all my life. Like getting your name called on draft night is one thing I've been wanting to accomplish, but signing my first NBA contract and being part of a roster is something you dream about as a kid too. So they were there for that. We shared the moment. I think I heard my dad almost shed some tears, which is very rare. So yeah, it's great. They've been by my side the whole time.
A life-changing week. So it's really special.
Yeah.
When I talked to Coach Boyle this week, he said that what he was hoping for you is that you would get a real deal. So this is before you sign. I talked to him Tuesday, right? It's before you sign. He said, I really hope, is the thing I'm rooting for is not that it two-way contract, because I want him a real deal, because the hardest thing to do is like find the right situation. Why do you think Portland is the right situation for you?
The young guys, it's like we're still kind of figuring out ourselves in a little bit, just because of the young nature. Obviously we have some great vets, but I think I fit in right with the young side of the team, the young culture. So with that being said, there's also opportunity, I feel like. So yeah, I think just nothing, is as set as certain other teams, and certain guys that were picked to play right away or may be sitting on the bench. Like, and I'm a guy that got picked later, and there might be opportunity for me to play. So that's one of the reasons. And then just the team setting. I don't know how other team camaraderie is, but right away I feel at home. And I don't know if it's like that everywhere. So there's a bunch of intangibles, and there's a bunch of situations that just play into it being the perfect fit.
Do you think you'll play right away? Do you think you have an opportunity to play early in your career?
I think so. Yeah.
Why is that?
I think that just my IQ will allow me to adjust with the game fairly quickly. And you see, even just in these 3 games, I haven't been a guy that started, but
Right.
I've been somebody that has been in the game at the end during winning time. And that's how it's been throughout my career. I didn't always start just because there was, bigger names ahead of me. But when it came down to crunch time, my coach was like, how are we going to take him out? He's rebounding, he's defending. So if I'm doing that, then I don't see why I don't deserve to play.
What will you guys, this show is going to come out after you guys play Sunday. So you might be a summer league champion by then with a ring on your finger. If some things break the right way for you, you guys get to play in the game, some out of your control by the time it happens. But after summer league ends and before you guys come back for training camp, what will you focus on the most? Like, what have you kind of learned that you need to add to your game or even just add physically?
Yeah. Most importantly, getting my body right. A lot of stretching, a lot of getting lower. I'm excited, opening my hips. There's a numerous amount of things that I got to improve on, but it just shows that haven't touched my ceiling yet. I'm far from where I need to be. So this is just a raw version of me. I'm still got to watch a lot of film, still got to understand how the game flows and how it works, where I need to be. My spacing can improve. There's just so much stuff. So this is just a glimpse.
Where are you going to be this summer? You going to come out to Portland, or are you going to work out wherever you are now?
Yeah, I'll go home for a little bit.
Where's home?
California.
Okay, LA.
Los Angeles, California. Yeah. I want to try to stop by Colorado, say hello to my old teammates, grab some things from school, and then I'm gonna get out to Portland earlier, like 2 or 3 weeks earlier than the other guys.
Right. Yeah. It's and then it starts. It comes quickly. Then everybody shows up around Labor Day. You're playing 5-on-5, and the season is here, and you get 9 months of the NBA season. It's a ton of fun. I'm excited to watch you grow. Jabari, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you for having me anytime.
Thanks again to Jabari for joining the show. It was a ton of fun. A couple times during that episode, I referenced my conversation with Colorado basketball coach Tad Boyle. That was last week's show. If you missed my conversation, that's Jabari's college coach, and he shared some insight on what it was like to recruit and then coach Jabari. Make sure you check that one out. And make sure you check out future episodes. Locked On Blazers rolling along all week, including an appearance later this week from longtime friend of the program, my friend Chuck. If y'all know who it is. If you don't, longtime friend of the program, my friend Chuck. You're not going to want to miss this one. Tell folks about this episode. Jabari was a ton of fun. So this is a great, if people are new to Locked On Blazers, it's a great place to hop in. It's a great place to get into it during, we're getting deep into the off season. This is, if you're a Blazers fan, if you're someone who listens to a Blazers podcast in July, what a great one to jump in on. So tell your friends, have them make it their first listen every single day. Make it your first listen every single day. Free on all platforms, 5 days a week. Make this your first listen. Make your second listen Locked On NBA, where you can get all the big news and all the big storylines as we cruise into the NBA offseason. Come back for more. I appreciate you listening, and I'll talk to you soon.